I'm not in a position to request attendance to COP26, the Coalition of the Parties, the Conference of the Parties on Climate Change. Should anybody be interested in my views, I'm making this tape. Some things are simple, some things are complex, and we need to learn to recognize that no one knows all of the complexities. The idea that I should surrender my position as a poet, defending poetry and my political views hardened in Pittsburgh, is to West Coast Lucifers in the epiphanies of their Jericho project, and to the agenda of these West Coast Lucifers in their Jericho epiphany is not rendered less belligerent by Euro black stridency all dressed up in garb by UW dialectical. We've all reached the point where we're tired of racism. But to say that the world should unite under the flag of anti-racism without comprehending the independence of Chile is ludicrous. Let me know when the intellectual vanguard in the NAACP make up their minds, by the way, of whether they're honorary the sacred Chinese gentlemen or newly minted ripe tarts, because they can't keep their ground comprehensions straight. The reframing requested by UW is null and void. They are the museum thieves. There is one very salient fact, and it hasn't been squandered in the manner of their swapping of lost archives and achieved by pirateer. They're stealing from museums, and they're profiling as a front for smuggling. This fact is that I was attacked in Pittsburgh by Seattle Union gargoyles of a bipartisan, biracial gangster division trafficking foreign women to make a joke of my father's book on human rights. The bottom line is that the issue is human rights as far as poetry is concerned, and they're just making a mockery of it. The evisceration of human rights by the great gargoyle Trump in his Swami Nostradagal cardinal garb. It doesn't evict the question of the nature of the attack. I'm a nonviolent person who was attacked blindside as a child. I weighed 98 pounds. Who do you fucking think you are fooling, Pittsburgh? Jimmy Crary had nothing to do with John Lennon. The West Coast slavery imposters, the slavers here, the human traffickers here, all dressed up in old Black Lives Matters and all this other stuff that UW dialectical pulls from Burma, have no graciousness towards their rivals. They have no place in a comfortable academic environment. What do the unions think they're doing? Closing the schools to hide their disgrace. Academics can't negotiate a union's disgrace. It's a matter of factual history. And nothing is more disgraceful than what's going on with the climate. You bore me to tears with your racism stuff. You're supporting the people who were white and tortured a white child and who put out Flame Over Africa as an announcement of their intention to violate the Environmental Modifications Convention. These are fossil fuel sex traffickers who just want to terrorize everybody. Obviously, we need to learn some graciousness towards one another. That's one of the reasons I support emergency grants to the countries that are affected. Everyone will profit. You think anybody who's rich and famous is going to have a benefit from climate destruction? You must be out of your mind. Now, despite this, the legendary movement comes from a long history of mongering and apostles of the mongering, of David Jeffens' lewd smokescreen, of symbolic victimization trophies, announcing the agency of his Ark Covenant as sharpshooters performing miracles in the name of holy grudges that can never be questioned. And these howling grudges that come from the past are slowly smoldering murderous hate, very like what's happening to the climate. The ancestors are coming. The ancestors are coming from the climate change movement, and they're going to gobble all of you for your terrorism past. No matter how you smoke it out, it's too complex to answer the riddle with a grudge. What we have to do is learn graciousness. And you, my friend, whoever you may be, have to learn graciousness towards Matt Crary. I'm a poet. I'm 61 years old. These evil idiots poisoned me in the mouth for no reason except to announce their agency as poisoners. Okay? Now that's all they did. And they're not going to save the world that way. You may think they are. Oh, wow, we'll get rid of all of these people with genocide, but that's not going to save the world. It's going to broil the atmosphere even more for the ancestors. When the ancestors come out of the methane, and poof, all of you are going to be gone for the sacred Ark of the Covenant. The newly minted Chinese gentleman in the NAACP will get it straight for you. It's absurd. What we need to do is work graciously towards emergency actions together to mitigate climate destruction and get off the attempt to turn something that's very simple, graciousness towards one another, into a magnificent opus about somebody's howling grudge. It's methane.